Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Xtremetarot, where we do moon readings and zodiac readings. Today we're doing a zodiac reading for Scorpio. We're checking into whatever message your guides have for you. If you're new to my channel, what I usually do for these readings is roll the die. I have like 12 numbers on here, 1 through 12, and I have 12 readings here, numbers 1 through 12. So I had already started recording a reading and I had to restart because my neighbors came home and my dog started barking, and it was very interruptive and disruptive to the reading. So I just wanted to restart the reading. So here we go, guys. Like, what message do Scorpio's guides have for them right now? What message does Scorpio most need to hear? I also shuffled a song for you, and it was Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. So we have the Venom and the Prayer. I feel like you guys could be going through sort of a dark night of the soul is what I'm getting. You could be going through a spiritual awakening where you're getting rid of a lot of this venom. There's a lot of yucky emotions like sort of coming up to be dealt with. This to me looks like this Venom card on the bottom of the deck looks like a mouth, and do you see how there's like a full moon coming up like through the throat? It's making me think of like a lot of emotion, like the full moon represents like coming up to be dealt with, maybe anger. I'm getting a vibe of anger with this Venom card. It looks like aggressive. We also have a full moon in Aries that's coming up in a few days, and Aries can be a very angry sort of an energy. Aries are known for being like very angry, like sometimes having anger issues. So I feel like there could be issues like that, a lot of repressed anger coming up to be dealt with, which can be very, it doesn't feel good. So even the way that this prayer card looks, the way the hand is like poking, like kind of like through the ground, I feel like things that have like been buried are coming up. And the fact that we have the prayer, there's this whole spiritual theme. Like I'm getting a theme of like a spiritual awakening, things that we've buried just coming back up to life to be dealt with so we can make our peace with them and move forward. So I think that's what Spirit wants you to know, first of all, that there's whatever emotions are coming out, it's not necessarily just to torture you or to make you feel bad or to like cause you unnecessary stress and frustration. Spirit is bringing them to the surface so they can be released, so this venom can be released. Almost like I always think about with this card, when you get a snake bite and you have to get the poison out. Like even I think of that Mean Girls when Katie's like, I had to suck the poison out of like everything I did. But I'm not getting a vibe like that, like you need to like repair a situation. I'm getting that this is Spirit almost like sucking the venom out of your soul, your being, like yourself, your body. I mean, a lot of times we hold like repressed emotions in our body, and I think your spirit guides are really trying to bring forth the message here of that there are things coming up, and almost like to not fight the process, to allow it to come, to find a healthy way to express your anger, whatever that could mean to you. If you feel like it's too overwhelming, there's always the option to like seek professional, assistance, like in the form of therapy or whatever you would need to do to deal with your emotions, whatever you would need to do. So I'm obviously not a doctor, but I mean, I think Spirit is just like letting you know that there is going to be some intensity kind of coming to the surface, especially during this moon. Recognize that this is temporary and it's just maybe kind of coming up at this point because of the moon even. Also we had the song Here Comes the Sun. So I feel like Spirit's like, this is going to lead somewhere positive eventually. Like, I mean, if you can hang in there, like whatever. So, okay, what else does Spirit most want to bring forth for you guys? What message does your guides have for Scorpio right now? Oh. Message, Spirit guides of Scorpio, do you have for Scorpio right now? Oh, okay, that's 2. What message do you have? Okay. We have trust. Leap into the unknown, have faith and move forward, and believe you will fly. So I feel like Spirit is really wanting you to trust in this process right now. And to really sort of like let go and it says believe you will fly. So with that, I'm kind of getting that same message of like, believe that something good will come of this. I'm almost getting a sense looking at this horse, like, I'm sorry, it's a unicorn. It's the Oracle of the freaking unicorns. Hello. But anyway, I'm getting like a sense of like, that, okay, like this unicorn wants to like fly or like leap, whatever it says, leap into the unknown. This unicorn wants to leap off of this ledge or whatever this is here, this mountain. But do you see the wings? Like, I feel like it's almost like the wings are like weighing him down. So I almost am getting a sense like they're not up and expansive, like they're like almost weighing him down. So that's what I'm getting a sense that spirit is like bringing forth. So your spirit guides or this dark night of the soul or whatever is happening, it doesn't have to be a dark night of the soul, but I think it is some sort of spiritual awakening. So it's like, that's what they're saying, like you're unable to fly because there's like things like holding you down. Your wings are too heavy and we need to like sort of release that and let all this stuff come up to be like, to dissipate, like some energetic dissipation. That's a thing. I recommend Reiki Rachel. Her channel, it's like free energy healings. Like, I mean, I think they're very powerful. Like it does help loosen up the energy to let it come out. I'm not gonna lie, like when you do those healings, it's like you'll do like an energy healing and then cry like for hours. Like, I mean, sometimes like even the next day, like I feel like it really gets it out. But it gets it out like if it's anger, you have to get out, you have to scream, you have to punch something, like you have to, not like something like someone, but punch a pillow. Like, you know, figure out a way to get out your anger. Like however you do that, look up, you know, techniques to like successfully and healthily like get your anger out. I feel like it could be anger here. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but that was the vibe that I was getting. All right, so what else here? What do Scorpio spirit guides most want? Yeah, but I think spirit's like, trust the process is what I'm getting. Like if you have been feeling like you want to move forward in your life and you haven't been able to, it might be that you have some sort of subconscious beliefs that are reinforced by all the negative energy that's sort of concentrated within you. Let's see, what message to Scorpio spirit guides? Regeneration. Yes, I feel like I'm being called to read this from the book here. So let's see, it's a number 46, which is a number 10. It reduces to a 10 and a 1. Just passed it, I think. 46. Rebirth, second chances, and new opportunities. Endings come in many forms, and now is the time to stop holding on to what must die so that something better can take its place. Nature's cycles include disease, decay, death, and regeneration. Let whatever isn't working in your life die. Don't be afraid to face the facts. There's no need to struggle or grieve. Whatever your query, let it go. You're about to be reborn. So yeah, that's kind of like the reversal message. So that's kind of like the shadow side of this card. And then the regular message is second chances are available to you now. Whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better and more powerful growing in its place. This rebirth is assured. Step into your new life. Destiny is being fulfilled in wondrous ways. So I feel like the vibe that I'm getting from that is that whatever opportunities you thought were dead are now revived in a more authentic, stronger form. Whatever you may have perceived as a failure or loss is now being replaced by something better. I feel like all this residual energy that's been like trapped within you, even this card, I'm seeing it like, do you see this? Like, I feel like this is you, this tree that doesn't have any leaves, or the leaves are starting to come. But this is all the energy underneath, and even it looks red. It looks like volcanic ash, like it's like fire energy. It needs to come up, and it doesn't feel good when it's coming up, but like your guides are with you. Do you see these white lights coming through? I feel like this is a very spiritual message for you guys. And I feel like spirit's like, this is like, don't be afraid of this process and don't fight against it. Like, I think spirit really doesn't want you to go through this thinking like, oh, like I'm crazy because like all these intense emotions are coming up, like what's wrong with me? You're not crazy. And I feel like a lot of times, like when we're going through these and these emotions are coming up, we feel like, why can't I get a hold of myself? Like, why am I so emotional right now? Like, why is this happening? And a lot of like the anguish that we feel is simply like us fighting against the process instead of like working with the process and allowing it to like come out. Like, okay, whoa, I feel like a wave of rage coming out. Like, let me get let me go to the gym and start like punching like a punching bag, like, or whatever, like, you know what I mean? If you like look up like ways to deal with toxic anger and things like that, because I feel like there is, maybe you're the type of person that doesn't usually, I mean, it's like we really can't go around like expressing our anger willy-nilly to people, like start screaming in people's faces. I mean, a lot of times we do sort of have to hold in and suck in our anger here. And I think, but where does it go? I think Spirit's saying like it needs to come out. And that's kind of like what's happening now. It's trying to come out. Maybe there's a certain event that has triggered this, maybe an ending of a relationship or something like that. Or maybe if this is like a sort of spiritual connection, like a twin flame, and the separation has sort of spiraled you into this spiritual awakening here that you weren't like really expecting. You thought you met like the love of your life, and then the next thing you know, like you're just sitting in a room by yourself dealing with all these intense emotions. Like sometimes like that's sort of how it happens. You weren't expecting it, and all of a sudden there's stuff coming up that you never thought, I mean, you didn't even realize was still buried inside of you. I also recommend like yin yoga and stuff, because I feel like a lot of times we do hold stuck energy in the body, especially in the hips. That's more for sad emotions though, but because they say when you like curl up, you to cry, like in the fetal position, you trap a lot of energy in your like hip area. So any sort of like stretching or Reiki work, in addition to whatever, you know, therapy you want to seek for yourself. But if this is really too intense for you and you're resonating with this message, obviously. So, okay, what else? Just their spirit guides, adjacent possibilities and anxiety. Okay, so I think spirit is wanting you to, with adjacent possibilities, look at the possibility that it's like maybe you only saw your life going in one certain way. I think spirit's wanting you to shift your perspective on a lot of things. And maybe just think about yourself in a new way. I feel like you spend a lot of time worrying about the future and maybe thinking about all the different things that could go wrong, like all the different possibilities that you have let like pass you by in life. I feel like this is more of like speaking of the past, and maybe you thinking that you've almost like let your life deteriorate in a certain way, or like it's the end of an era and you feel like you have nothing now. But I think spirit's like there's actually so many doors that are like open around you, but like you're not able to see it because it's like you're sort of like down, like clutching your head in your hands, like not even being able to like notice, if that makes sense. And it's like almost like you won't even be able to see. It's just the same vibe as this with the heavy wings. Like you might see the possibilities, but you're not able to get to them in the most healthy way. That's not really like the way I want to say it. I'm saying that wrong. It's just like it's like here's you and here's what you want to achieve and manifest for yourself, whether that's love, a career, whatever it is, like whatever you're trying to get to here in your life, whatever you're trying to move forward towards. And the block here in the middle, like the impasse, like the block to the path here is, it's almost like, okay, do you see how on this card it's almost like you're trying to walk towards like whatever you want, again, like that whole pathway thing I was just trying to illustrate with my posts. But it's almost like you fall down into like a trap door here, and you think that you like went the wrong way, or like, oh, like again, I'm thwarted by the universe or something like that, or I'm thwarted by God or by life or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And it's like spirit's like, no, like going down, it might be like a longer route. I just wanted to say circuitous. That came through in a reading I was doing. It was in the description. I don't even know what that means. Is that like a circuitous route? Like when you go like say you have to go from here to here, but you go like that and like take a longer route. I don't know. It's almost like that. Like you want to get from here to here, but then you go down and you have to like go through this whole maze and then come up and then, oh, you're there. Like I feel like spirit's like, it might be a little bit longer of a journey than you realized here, or a little bit you thought it was going to be direct, like maybe like, oh, I'm going to go from here to here, but spirit's like, actually, we're going to take you down to the basement, down to the dungeons. We have some stuff that we have to work out, maybe some stuff that's causing you anxiety, even though this is the number of the moon, which is like subconscious, like buried emotions, which is an energy I get from the moon as well. So let's see, let's get one more oracle. We'll get Moonology. What else does your spirit guides most want you to know right now? Then we're going to get tarot and advice for you guys. Okay. Conclusions are within reach. And look, we have the full moon energy coming through. Surrender to the divine. So again, spirit wants you to know that, I don't really know about this card. Let's look it up in the book too. I'm sorry. Full moon eclipse. A full moon eclipse. So maybe during eclipse season, like things are really going to heat up here, but we have a full moon eclipse. And look, a time for healing. I just like picked it up and like anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like I went like that by accident. But yeah, so I feel like it's a time for healing. We have the balsamic moon, but anyway, we have the full moon and a full moon eclipse here. So we have 2 full moons, and a full moon eclipse is what came through. And it's a more intense full moon than most. It's like whatever feelings are going to come through are going to be a little bit extra for you guys. I think this full moon in Aries, I think your spirit guides want you to be prepared for that, you know, influx of energy or the outflux that's gonna like come up through you. Even though there's a full moon on this card, like I feel like this is very much like the case here. Oh, I do want to look in the book for this, but yeah, I feel like this moon is going to be very intense. And even this card reminds me a lot of times of the 7 of Wands, because you know how like the guy on the card is holding like the wand, like and there's like the other wands like coming up. It almost like reminds me of the way the wands are on the 7 of Wands. Even this moon looks red, and like I said, it is an Aries moon here, so I feel like there could be a lot of intense energies coming through with this moon. So let me see if I don't remember where it is in the book here, if it's in the front or the back. I think it might be in the back, but I couldn't tell you. 3rd quarter. Yeah, it's in the back. Sorry. All right. Okay, full moon eclipse. And just like that, a door slams shut. Oh, interesting with all these doors here. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking about is about to reach a peak or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for, a way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. Yeah, don't fight this process. Just like be gentle. I saw the gentle card pop out, like trust it and be like, okay, like this is just ride the waves kind of a vibe. Hold on to your like life preserver or whatever it's called. And be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving the situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. And if this is like a twin flame connection, doesn't have to be, but it could just be a breakup or something like that. But if it is a twin flame, and don't take it to mean that like you'll never come back with this person necessarily. Like you may or may not, but just at least like forgive the situation at hand. Like if they like you feel like abandoned and they like left you, and try to heal that specific situation instead of thinking about the connection overall into the future. Because remember, we had the anxiety card, which that's basically what anxiety is. It's like, you know, worry about the future. So there could be like a feeling of that where you're like, oh my God, are we going to be together? And I think Spirit's saying like, for right now, all you need to know is like, in this immediate moment, no, you're not together, and you need to deal with the fallout of that. Like what might happen in the future is unknown. And maybe just like trying to forgive this situation will help you to like find peace in the moment. That which is meant for me will not pass me by. That's a mantra that you can say to yourself. Like if this is really meant for you, if this is really your person, like nothing can happen to destroy that. So just take comfort in that fact. And maybe you're just supposed to be in like a separation, which I think a lot of people think a separation is like, I know like at the beginning of like the journey, you could be like, oh, it's only for like a month or two, but like sometimes it lasts years. And I know that's like terrible to hear when you're in that state of like that twin flame longing. I mean, it's actually terrible, but it feels terrible and very intense. But regardless, sometimes that is the reality of the situation. and doesn't mean that it won't come back around. So it says additional meanings for this card. Doors which slam shut now will not reopen. And again, that's like sort of a scary thought to hear, but we have an energy of regeneration here. So even if this particular door might never reopen, but there might be another door that comes through that opens where maybe this person is in a completely different energy, like, but maybe not, like, you know what I mean? It could be either one. It's time for you to get back on track. Forgiveness will set you free of karma, seed control, and let events unfold. Meditations, pranayama, I don't know what that is. Maybe like, what's it called? Chanting and stuff. Could be. And yoga are all recommended now. Yes, I think I was saying that. Full moons are nearly always about climaxes and very often about conclusions. Full moon eclipses are the same, but on steroids. Yeah, a full moon eclipse can be hard to handle because it portends change, something many of us are not comfortable with, but change is a part of life, and this card, no matter when you pull it, reminds you of that fact. Full moon eclipses can also give us a glimpse into what Carl Jung called the shadow self. Work with your darkness. 100%, I feel like this is a dark night of the soul, maybe just beginning a descent into the darkness, if you will. And Spirit's like, you're gonna here comes the sun though, like, and it might not be for a while, but here comes clarity, here comes seeing the truth of things, here comes like breaking the surface and having everything out in the open instead of buried inside of you, subconsciously dictating everything that you do, you know? So what else do we need to know? What's coming up next for Scorpios? What can they expect coming up next? Okay, we have the Three of Swords. So there is definitely some heartbreak here. There is definitely some pain that I think is going to continue. I feel like you could be hoping for a quick fix, that this person might like change their mind or come back around, but I don't think that's going to happen. Just the way that I was saying that, like, you're trying to get to this person, for example, if that's the case, or to whatever you're trying to do here. But it's like you get, like, you fall down this trap door that's in the floor that you didn't notice. It's like they have to do the same thing, if that makes sense, and go through this whole process just like you do. This isn't an instantaneous like change of a mind that they're gonna have. Even if they might come back, they might pop in and out, because they on a subconscious level, I'm sure, feel the same way. They feel like the pull towards you, even though they don't understand it. But then I think it scares them away and they run away. But they're gonna have to go through a full transformation just like you are. Or this could be saying that Spirit set a trap door here, if this isn't a twin flame connection, where you're walking and you fall down like the trap door because this really wasn't a good thing for you and you're going to meet somebody better. There's other possibilities in this person, which could be the case if it's a twin flame too, that, you know, this isn't meant to be in this lifetime, but it doesn't have to be. Like, it doesn't have to be that. I mean, I think the whole point of this reading is that, like, for you to get comfortable with not knowing, not to give you an answer of like if this is going to work out or not. Spirit's like, you have to get comfortable with like trusting life, and it's not about if this person's gonna come or not. Like the Seven of Swords, I feel like this is what's coming up. I feel like there could be a lot of, in the shadows, confusion, deceptive, like maybe with this I'm getting, because it's coming out right under the trust card, where it's more like anxiety and feeling like you tried to trust life and leap into the unknown, and then you landed flat on your face. Again, you fell through this trap door. I'm getting a vibe of that, almost like falling from cloud 9, crashing from the high kind of a vibe, where you thought maybe you even went through some sort of difficult time before, and then you met this person and you thought that like they were almost like the answer to your prayers here, and then it ended up causing you even more pain and making you fall in a way that you didn't even think that you could fall. Like, you were already going through like a very bad experience, and then this just made it even worse, and it makes you not trust life. It makes you feel very, it's almost like you thought, yeah, look, you thought you were here on the chariot, woo, like this is gonna be so happy, and then it was like you fell into the Five of Pentacles energy, where you're like, what? And it made you feel very bad about yourself. It made you not trust spirit, not trust life, not trust yourself and your own intuition. And that's what this whole journey is about, is realizing that, seeing the purpose of everything, seeing things from new perspectives. We have the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. So I feel like Spirit's like, wanting you to realize that this fulfillment and this answer to your prayers doesn't lie in another person. And that like somebody else, like a person isn't going to come in. Let me just get one more for this and sort of like be able to, just how I was saying, like your person, it won't be like an instantaneous change, like that they're just going to happen 1 minute, like, oh, I made a mistake. The Knight of Wands. It's the same goes for you, where like somebody, a relationship isn't going to be something that instantaneously changes and gets rid of all this buried emotion and insecurities and pain in your heart that maybe is caused by other people in your life. Like you have to go through that. Nobody else can do that for you. I'm also getting a vibe that there's a distorted perception here where you're maybe seeing this person as the 10 of Pentacles, as wanting a stable commitment with you, but they're in a sort of Knight of Wands, more immature energy, where they're not really ready to step up to the plate and be that sort of a stable energy in your life. And I think Spirit's really calling on you to like transmute all this anger into this more like stable energy for yourself here. Okay, we have Death and the Hierophant. Okay, so with the Death card, obviously death, transformation, it's more Scorpio energy coming through. I feel like with the Hierophant and this card, I feel like there might be in your middle chakras a lot of work to be done. That's the message I'm getting from your guides right now, that they want you to know. I'm also getting a vibe of like regurgitating darkness out of you, like by this Death card, this skull. It looks like almost like there's blackness coming out of its mouth or something like that. So I feel like maybe working on your solar plexus chakra. Even here, look, there's like this middle section. I feel like there's a lot of like buried emotion deep within you here. I feel like there's even your throat chakra, there could be a lot of repressed, or maybe this is about your person. I feel like with your person, they're not in touch with their heart at all. That's what I'm getting from this. I feel like this is your person and this is you, and this is like your chakras, and like Spirit's just like trying to show me that like you both have like such completely different issues. They're like completely like they can't express their feelings, and they also have a lot of buried things deep inside that they can't even deal with or look at. Like their upper, like their heart chakra is blank, like, you know what I mean, because they're not in touch with their heart at all right now. Whereas you're, like I was saying, the center chakras for you, the solar plexus and the heart chakra, I feel like are mostly being highlighted here. But the center chakra is your heart chakra, whereas I feel like you have the most pain and you feel like a lot of things here, and that's what you need to work through. So that's what I'm saying, like you guys have different things to work on, whereas you feel like a person could come in and help you to feel better because your heart chakra is so out of balance and maybe like has the most pain and like energy like congested there, like stuck energy there. Maybe for your person it's something else, like it's not the heart though. I don't feel like they have energy there. Like, so like that, the thought of a relationship to them isn't something that's healing. Like you have different perceptions right now because you're on 2 different pages right now. And this process will hopefully help you to align with whatever is meant for you. Shall we get, let's get some advice and then we're going to close out this reading here. So let's see what else. Okay, spirit guides of Scorpio, what message do you have for Scorpios right now? I think also there's a message here of like you might have a greater destiny than just being with this person. Look at this. Healing is happening. You're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. But I feel like, not even I'm saying another relationship, but like your own destiny or something. Like I hate saying the word destiny. Like your own path could lead to somewhere greater than just a committed relationship or something. Like you could have some sort of spiritual clout here with the prayer. You could have like a spiritual, like a destiny. I don't know. But what message do you have for Scorpios right now? What do they most need to hear? What advice? We have the initiation, rite of passage, crossing the threshold. It's like you have to go through the dark to get to this more colorful, light-filled era of your life here. What else? We have open, say yes, expand through the extremes, and trust life, coming out right over trust. I think Spirit's wanting you to really embrace this process and allow these extremes to like course through you. Again, if you need a therapist's help or a doctor's help or something like that, like please do what you feel you need to do if it's too intense. But I think overall Spirit wants you not to fight this process, but to be open to the healing that could happen through these extremes. Healing is happening. Okay, that did end up coming through. Sorry. These cards are very soft, muted energies. I think Spirit wants you, look, and here comes the sun. I feel like that is coming out. It's very important when you're going through this process to try to find, when you're like, you know, the energies are very extreme and the emotions are extreme, like when you sort of like come down and are like at a level balance again, it's kind of like that. When you're down here again, to like try to reconnect to people in your life, find the fun in life again, in order to have that balance. But you're not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. We also have a no, wait, postpone, pause, and say no. So I think Spirit's saying that there might be blocks in your path right now, but it's because it's not the right time and there's like some more inner healing work to do. So that's the only reason why. That's two. I just want to get one. What is one last advice from Scorpio's spirit guides? Oh, the age of light. You've been training for this for lifetimes. So I feel like, again, like I was saying, I feel like you have, look, this almost looks to me like this pyramid energy. And like, again, I was saying that's you. You might have a purpose here that is going beyond just this connection, although I do think this connection plays a very important part and is the catalyst for these energies. I feel like you're having energetic upgrades. I feel like there's a lot of energies moving through you and coursing through you in order to make you be stronger. Like, I'm getting like a pyramid and like your spirit guides energy coming through. Spirit's watching over you while this is happening, your guides. We have trust the seasons, embracing change, cycles of life, transition, and growth. You are in a very transitory period right now. And I think Spirit just really wants you to try to just make this as painless as possible for you. So let's just get some of these, are my homemade advice cards, just a few, and then we'll leave it here. So the worst thing in life is not failure, it's regret. So maybe you like expressed your feelings to somebody, or you feel like you failed at something. Like, again, you fell through the trap door, you had a tough time, like a tough break, like you landed on the concrete here. And I think Spirit's like, there's no harm in trying. That's how you figure things out in life. And maybe you would have regretted it if you didn't, you know, try, or whatever the case. What else? Oh my God, that's too many. What other advice does Scorpio need right now? Spirit guides a Scorpio. Don't waste time with faux hustle. Do things that will actually move you forward. For example, the shit that you're scared to do. So I feel like with that, I'm getting like, this isn't going to be something like superficial, like we're getting down to the nitty gritty. And I feel like you maybe did that. Like, I'm getting a sense of like you leaping off, trying to fly and then like falling flat on your face. So I feel like, I almost feel like I want to switch these. Like, this came first and then it almost seems like a failure, and you feel like, why you're beating yourself up or something like that. And I think Spirit's like, don't beat yourself up. Your guides are like, you were called to do that. Like, this was part of like the whole process of you trying and then failing and then learning through that process. Start and end the day with positive thoughts about yourself, even if you're mean in between. Okay, can we just get one at a time? Sorry. Start and end the day with positive thoughts about yourself, even if you're mean in between. So I feel like you could be the type of person that's being really hard on yourself. And like I was saying, during this whole like dark night process, even if you're mean in between, like the whole thing is like, a lot of what makes it harder is you fighting against it. I think I was saying that. And also like being hard on yourself. Like, you're so stupid. Why did you try that? Like, that was so stupid. Like, it's like you're really mean to yourself like a lot of times throughout this process. And that's what this whole process is trying to highlight for you. A lot of this repressed anger that we have here gets turned inward onto yourself, and then you hate yourself, and it's like self-loathing and self-hatred and things like that. So Spirit's like, even if you're mean to yourself all day, like say something nice to yourself in the morning and at night. Start to at least tune into the way that you speak and think about yourself, you know? Okay, you know what? We're taking these two and we're gonna leave it. First of all, this says don't hide from your mistakes, own that shit. If you expressed yourself to somebody and they rejected you and you're feeling stupid, don't feel stupid. Be like, you know what? I'm just being authentic. That's how I felt and I freaking said it. Own it. Like, you know, empower yourself like that. One time this guy said to me like, that I liked, and I was just like, I said whatever, and what did they say? They're like, oh, I think you're like looking for a relationship, and you know, I'm just like more casual. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I am a relationship person. Like, I owned it. Like, you know, in that moment, at first I felt really embarrassed. I'm like, ooh, but I'm like, why am I embarrassed that I want a relationship, but I don't want to have like casual interactions with people? I was like, no, you're right. I am a relationship person, and I will accept nothing less. Like, you know, and it's like you own it and you like turn it into something empowering. You know what I mean? Instead of being like wasting. But before that, I had like wasted months about this guy, like just sitting in my room at night, like, why would I like say how I felt? It's so embarrassing. Why is it embarrassing? It's not embarrassing. Own it. Oh, I just saw stretch your muscles to release stuck energy. So I feel like that really could be a thing. I saw something in here that was like, when did it become weird and bad to care about people? Okay, I'm not gonna find it. But it was like, when did, oh my God, is this it? Okay, it's here. Okay. When did it become weird and bad to care about people, to be silly and happy and free? Why is it bad to care about somebody and have feelings for them? It's not bad. Like, you have a heart. It might be weird and bad to this person because they're not in touch with their heart at all here. They're more in touch with like power and sexuality and like, you know, feelings of like security and money and things like that. You're on like a different path right now than they are. And let them be on their path. And, you know, you don't have to judge them, but you could just recognize that you're not that type of person. Destruction is a crucial part of the creation process because space needs to be made for what's coming in. Don't fight it. Yeah, there's this whole message of don't fight it. Like, let it happen. And definitely don't blame yourself. Don't feel that you did something wrong. Like, you're not afraid to like go after the things that you want. And even if you don't get them, like, you know that whole quote that's like, you miss 100% of the opportunities that you don't take. Like, how do you know? You tried. So what? And maybe it didn't work out and you gotta know, but you know what? Like, you got bigger fish to fry right now. Like, this person, maybe they'll come around. Maybe they'll realize, you know, later on, but regardless, like, you have like a beautiful destiny on the way for you. And right now you're growing and, you know, changing through these tough experiences. So don't fight the process. All right, Scorpio, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading and I'll catch you in the next one. Also, I have a pick a card on here that's like, your dark night of the soul, like how to deal with your dark night of the soul. So I'll link that here. So if you want to check it out for further like guidance on this whole situation. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. Bye.